Welcome again. In a major development tonight, the United States Department of Justice has released more than 3 million pages of documents tied to its investigation of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The name of President Donald Trump appears hundreds of times across these files, but tonight, attention centers on statements from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche regarding the president and his past association with Epstein.
Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people.
In a formal letter to Congress, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Attorney General Pam Bondi confirmed that roughly 200,000 pages were redacted or withheld under various legal privileges. The department is also withholding nearly 3 million additional documents for reasons including the protection of victim privacy and the presence of images depicting child sexual abuse. Critics have noted that this release arrives approximately 40 days after the statutory deadline mandated by the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Questions have arisen about whether all materials concerning President Trump, whose friendship with Epstein dated to the 1990s before a later falling out, have been disclosed in full.
Can you assure the American public that President Trump, like every other prominent person whose name came up in relation to the Epstein files, that all documents, photos, and anything relevant to him connected to the case are being released?
I mean, yes, I can assure that we complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect President Trump, we didn't protect or not protect anybody.
President Trump's name surfaces thousands of times in the released materials, predominantly in news clippings, but also in emails authored by Epstein himself. According to Deputy Attorney General Blanche, speaking to Fox News, none of these references, even those in which Epstein appears to criticize or disparage the president, suggest any criminal conduct by Trump or inappropriate contact with Epstein's victims. Among the documents are records of unverified tips submitted to investigators, including uncorroborated allegations involving President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and other prominent figures. Both Trump and Clinton have consistently denied any knowledge of or involvement in Epstein's crimes, and the Justice Department has stated that these leads ultimately proved fruitless. Blanche emphasized that a thorough examination of the files uncovered no evidence warranting additional criminal charges against any individual.
I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
The newly disclosed files do shed further light on Epstein's extensive network among the wealthy and influential. Correspondence reveals discussions between Epstein and Elon Musk regarding potential visits to Epstein's private Caribbean island, Little St. James. In one 2012 email, Musk inquired about the timing of what he described as the wildest party on the island. Musk has maintained that he never actually visited. The documents also indicate that Howard Lutnick, President Trump's current Secretary of Commerce and a former Manhattan neighbor of Epstein, appears to have planned a visit to the island. Lutnick has publicly stated that he severed ties with Epstein in 2005, describing him as reprehensible and insisting he avoided any further social, business, or philanthropic contact.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Yet the records show that 7 years later, in 2012, while vacationing in the Caribbean with his wife, children, and friends, Lutnick emailed to arrange a possible dinner on Epstein's island, asking if Sunday evening would suit. Days afterward, Epstein's assistant forwarded a message. Jeffrey wished me to pass along the below to you. Nice seeing you. The Commerce Department has responded that Secretary Lutnick's interactions with Epstein were limited, always in the presence of his wife, and that he has never faced any accusations of wrongdoing. In reaction to the release, a coalition of Epstein survivors issued a pointed statement criticizing the process. This latest release of Jeffrey Epstein is being sold as transparency, but what it actually does is expose survivors. Once again, survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed, while the men who abused us remain hidden and protected. That is outrageous. This is a betrayal of the very people this process is supposed to serve.